So last week we started our 8 characteristics of unframed men. We discussed what is frame, the importance of frame, and we started on the first 4 characteristics. So today we're going to finish that. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Number 5, an unframed man makes excuses or blames others. Is your spirit animal an ostrich? Do you just complain about your circumstances, but really just don't do anything about them? Everything that I have seen and witnessed indicate to me that a lack of accountability is very much a woman thing. It's a feminine feature. So if you're a man who's never to blame or never at fault, it's not you. Is complaining like some kind of new aphrodisiac that like I've never heard of? And you want to know the reason why women don't take accountability or responsibility for things? Is very simply, we don't have to. Like if you think about it, there's always going to be some kind of man that's going to come and bail us out. There's going to be a father, a brother, an uncle, a friend who's standing by. There's always going to be somebody that comes and rescues a woman, even if it's something that like a plumber where she has to pay. We don't see female plumbers coming in the middle of the night to unclog a toilet. So you see, there's always going to be some man that bails out women. And you'll see this also if a woman ever is pulled over on the side of the road because maybe her tire blew out and she needs to change it. You'll have all kinds of guys stopping to help her. But that same situation, reverse, if it's a male who's pulled over, nobody's stopping to help the guy because guys are expected to rescue themselves. So women will always have men to help step in and rescue them, but men don't have that luxury. An unframed man will ignore his problems. And I don't know if maybe I'm just at this age where I'm like, those darn kids, but I feel like this younger generation, the generation of like my adult sons who are 22 and 20, where I feel like this generation is just completely unmotivated in life. They just seem to be ignoring the realities in life and numbing out on weed and video games, easy access pornography. And what's up with this new Dungeons and Dragons resurgence? Like, is this a new thing? People actually have standing dates for their Dungeons and Dragons meetings. So this younger generation, a group of just unframed men, have completely just kind of opted out of society. And instead of creating a life that's really amazing in real life, they just bury their head in the sand in these video games and these other dopamine substitutes because life is hard, but they still haven't quite accepted reality and the harshness of what it takes to be a framed man. And these are typically the guys who always come up with the excuse of, well, it's everyone else's fault. Oh, I don't know why my marriage looks like shit. She's just an awful woman. Or maybe you're the kind of man who can't hold a job. There's always an excuse. Well, it's that person's fault or this person's fault. Not knowing that the common denominator is you. And I don't want this to be construed or conveyed to mean that like every single thing that happens to your life is all on you. Because I think Jocko is one of those guys who will say, oh, you take a responsibility for everything. And I think that's a bit on the extreme end. But it's a better mindset to have than to not take the responsibility that you need to. So the lack of accountability is a feminine quality. It's something we typically see in women. And you experience this as guys when they come home from work and they just want to sit there and vent about their problems. They don't want solutions. They just want to feel heard. They will just want empathy and you being like, wow, it sounds like a tough day. They don't really want to fix the problems. That's just being female. But men can't and shouldn't have the luxury of soaking in a problem bath. Woe is me doesn't work when you have wife and children who depend on you. If there are problems, sure, you're gonna feel the stresses of those problems. But operating as a framed man means that you acknowledge and accept that nobody else is coming to save you. So stop making excuses and blaming others. Number 6, unframed men get defensive. Being self-assured and not needing validation from others should not be construed to mean that you are perfect. You do have blind spots. The question is, do you have enough humility to recognize that fact? Are you willing to listen and actually hear those things that your wife are saying to you that might not be exactly complimentary? Sure, maybe her delivery sucked. Maybe her tone wasn't all that great. And if there's disrespect, that should be addressed. However, do not allow the tone of the message, allow the walls of defensiveness to arise and block your ability to hear. Because if she's making the effort to tell you these things, she's doing right by you. And you have to be willing to hear those things. Today's episode is sponsored by Cup Cozy Pillow. It is the world's best cup holder. And I'm not just saying this because I'm the inventor and the owner. Seriously, go to Amazon. We have over 10,000 reviews. So if you ever need a cup holder anywhere you don't have one, Cup Cozy Pillow is where it's at. Next, I'd like to remind you that I have a new free community. It's just really a great place where we take the conversations we start here and move them off to a different platform to where we can have an ongoing discussion. Did you know that I have been friend zoned by 81% of my viewers? That is right. 81% of you guys who watch my channel have not subscribed. So, well, don't friend zone me, okay? I think sometimes we get so caught up in either the fact that we don't like the tone or the actual messenger that we don't want to hear things that might actually provide some truth and nuggets of wisdom. I think a good example of this is Andrew Tate. Now, if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, he was kind of a big deal in the manosphere space. I guess, I don't know if he currently is, but a lot of men think Andrew Tate is quite misogynistic, and the many things he says is vile.
I say things that they know are true and that they agree with, but I say it in a way that angers them emotionally, and they get caught up in their brain because they're saying, he's saying the truth, but I'm pissed off by how he's saying it. So I want to argue with him, but he's right. So instead of saying men are physically stronger than women, I'll say females are weak. Females are weak. Well, females are weak. Females are weak. Men are strong. Females are weak. No, but but I'm right. And he knows I'm right.
If you could just separate the message from the messenger, you can actually learn something. Separate the tone. Is what your wife's saying true? Can there be something to be learned? If you can't hear it, the message, it really speaks to a lack of humility. So exercise that humility muscle and realize that there might just be some information that you need to hear that will allow you to have a better marriage. Number 7, an unframed man asks stupid questions. Now, I know in high school that you were often told by your teachers, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Well, I'm here to tell you that doesn't apply in your marriage. There are stupid questions and there are stupid answers. For instance, you want to talk about a stupid question, how about where's the ketchup? Do you know what goes on in my brain when I hear that? I'm like, where do you think the ketchup lives? Do you think it's going to be in the bedroom? How about the bathroom? Maybe it's swimming in the pool. Like, what kind of dumb question is that? That's what's going on. That's not what I say. But that's the thought process. How about when a man opens up the refrigerator and is looking in there and then he asks his wife, what's there to eat? Really? Do you not have eyeballs? Can you not see the exact same things that if I were to walk over, my eyeballs would see? These are stupid questions that you do not need to be asking your wife. This is so off-putting. It's like a little kid who comes up to you and says, I'm bored. What should I do? And you know what I say to them? I say, I'm not your brain. Go figure it out. I mean, how incompetent and incapable do you want your wife to believe you to be? Because you want her to respect you and you want her to follow your leadership, but you can't even figure out where the ketchup is. And what happens 99% of the time is the wife just opens up and it's just like staring at them, like right in the face, which is even more frustrating. Listen, guys, this is on behalf of all the women, at least in America. Let me give you this advice. Spend 1 hour of your life, just one, and go find out where shit lives in your house. Go open every drawer. Oh, this is where the bathroom towels are. Oh, here's where the wooden spoons live. This is where the toilet paper goes. It should be a very rare occasion for you to have to ask your wife where something is. And you guys want to be seen as competent and capable. You want your wife to respect you. And in one of my last videos, the 10 Laws for Married Men, I spoke about how these small little things that you do, like not taking out the trash when you said you would, that it's the small things that kill your marriage. You guys do great on the big things. You try to be a good husband, a good father, and you think you have to do all these big, grand, over-the-top gestures, and you haven't even nailed the small things. Ignore those big things. Like, get the small things right. Your wife is not your mother, so stop making her play that role, or she's going to view you as a child. Because the reality is, most of the time, you don't really need help. You're just being lazy. Instead of actually doing the effort to looking with your own eyeballs and actually taking the time to figure out where things actually live in your own household, you want to place all these small micro burdens onto her with your stupid questions that makes her wonder exactly how incapable are you. So start becoming a capable leader by figuring out where the ketchup lives. Number 8, an unframed man is indecisive. Have you ever been asked by your wife, hey, what do you want for dinner? And you reply back, oh, I don't know. Just, it doesn't matter to me. Just you choose. You guys, for a woman, this is so frustrating. Like, just make a decision already. And the funny thing is, I had already started this outline and I asked my husband this question. I'm like, hey, what do you want for dinner? You want chicken or fish? And he's like, oh, I don't really care. And I was like, Do you know I just outlined how frustrating this is for women? So what happens is you guys think that you're actually making it easier by leaving it up to your wife, but you're actually doing the opposite. You're making life more difficult. If you don't know which one to choose the first option. Just that's going to be your default. You're going to have an opinion instead of saying, well, I don't know, I don't care. Be like, yes, chicken sounds great. Thank you. I know this might seem stupid to you guys. Indecisiveness drives us absolutely crazy. She wants to make you happy and she's giving you the options. Do the woman a solid and make that decision. Make her job easier by leaving these small decisions that she has to make. The decision overload, the decision fatigue. I know you have decision fatigue also, but you're not helping anybody or your marriage by not answering the question. Because the conclusion she comes to in her mind is, if you can't even make the small decisions, like how's he going to decide on the big stuff? I've been telling you guys over and over again that everything is linked in a woman's mind. There is no decision or behavior that is isolated. What you say and do in one part of the marriage spills over into the other side of the marriage, or how you are as a father spills over into how she's going to perceive you as a husband. Don't worry about choosing wrong. Just choose. The lack of making a choice and a decision makes a woman view you as incompetent. And with that, we are finished. What do you think? Do you think that these are ridiculous? Let me know in the comments. And make sure you stick around for this next video, which YouTube seems to think you're really going to love. And as always, I will see you guys next week.